From Nutrien Ag Solutions, this is Senior Meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your Canadian Prairie weather story for Monday, July 18th, 2022. Temperatures across the region a little bit on the mild side. We've got a storm system coming in from the southwest right now, just sort of pushing into southern Alberta here early on Monday morning. So we've got a bit of a boundary right here. We've got warmer temperatures south of that in the mid to upper teens, getting close to 20 degrees already on Monday morning as you get closer to the U.S. border. A little bit cooler as you head off to the north from there. We'll look at the infrared satellite picture. You can see several disturbances right now across North America. We've got one right now making its way through the Great Lakes, cold front extending down into the southern U.S. Got an area of low pressure right here, moving into portions of Ontario. Little frontal boundary, kind of just, let me take the drawing off there, extends back to the west from that system across Ontario. And that's where we have the next area of low pressure beginning to, again, lift into southern Alberta. It's going to ride along that frontal boundary, bringing another corridor of showers and storms over the next 48 hours. As we look at the radar right now, here's the area of low pressure across Ontario. The frontal boundary extended back like that. Scattered showers and storms along that frontal boundary here. Early on Monday morning, you can see the zoom in there. We've got a couple severe storms here early morning south of the Lethbridge area, well south of Calgary, kind of along and south of the Highway 1 corridor. And this is really going to be the area to watch over the next 48 hours. Here's your thunderstorm outlook from Environment Canada. See that higher risk area across southern portions of Saskatchewan, along and south of Highway 1, southeast Alberta, and then on into southern Manitoba. You're also in a moderate risk there for some severe storms as we head through. Again, southern Alberta seeing those storms already this morning. The bigger risk, though, expands as we head through the afternoon into the evening hours. Now, here's a couple graphics showing the snapshot here Monday evening. You can see the instability on the left. Again, we got plenty of fuel for thunderstorms to work with across the entire prairie. That's why you saw that at least, moderate risk extending from southeast Alberta all the way into southern portions of Manitoba. Quite a bit of instability. But you see the better upper level support, the stronger jet stream winds. It's always a balance. Going to be found here across portions of southeast Alberta, getting into southern portions of Saskatchewan as we get into Monday afternoon, Monday evening. This is your upper level wave. You can see the jet stream winds fanning out and speeding up as they come around the base of that trough right there. And that leads to upward vertical motion in the atmosphere across this region. So where's your best overlap between having the fuel, having the instability for those storms, and having the upper level support to sustain those storms? It's going to be right here where that higher risk was on the Environment Canada thunderstorm outlook from extreme southeastern Alberta into southern portions of Saskatchewan. Now we'll take a look at a couple different things. This is your surface winds over here on the left, and then on the right you've got your precipitation forecast. And I want to show you here the convergence. When we look at the surface wind speed and direction, your area of low pressure emerging across southern portions of Alberta. South of that, you've got very strong southwesterly winds coming in with, along that dry line. You've got drier air on the back side of that. Out ahead of the area of low pressure, again, we've got that frontal boundary kind of stalled somewhere like this. You've got easterly winds coming in across portions of southern Saskatchewan into southeastern portions of Alberta. So you've got southwesterly winds meeting southeasterly winds. It's along that boundary then. You've got winds coming in, colliding with each other. That air has to go somewhere, and it goes up. We develop cloud cover and precipitation. So you got everything coming together there. We talked about it on the previous two maps. The best overlap of instability, the best overlap in upper level wind support, and you've got your surface convergence there. The two, the meeting of the surface winds there. That's why we then expect to see the greatest coverage of showers and storms, including severe storms, kind of right in that area, along the frontal boundary, where the greatest instability is, where the greatest upper level jet stream wind support is. We still have some instability. We still have, some upper level jet stream support across this area. It's just not nearly as focused, so you end up with much less in the way of thunderstorm activity as you head further off to the east. So let's put this into motion then over the next 72 hours. go ahead and pause it, bring it back to Monday morning. Showers and storms ongoing, already a few storms in southern Alberta. So we get into Monday afternoon, Monday evening, we'll see those severe storms flare back up, most numerous from southern Alberta into southern Saskatchewan. The risk is going to continue into the early overnight. Again, large hail over 2 inches, damaging winds over 90 kilometers per hour, and maybe a few tornadoes with the strongest storms today. That risk shifts off into southern Manitoba, off to the east, on Tuesday afternoon. This is about 4 p.m. on Tuesday. Greatest coverage of showers and storms well off to the east across portions of southern Alberta. We start to dry out back to the west as high pressure begins to kind of nudge back into the region, bringing us warmer and drier conditions through midweek. So here's the next 7 days of precipitation across the prairie. Big corridor here. A lot of that falling over the next 48 hours. So here's your next week split up into the next 2 days, and then days 3 through 7 here over on the right side. And again, you can see a lot of this falling over the next 48 hours with that storm system that tracks from west to east across the region. This is going to be pretty variable. We'll see some areas here that are going to pick up a soaking here, maybe an inch or two of rainfall, and then some areas that maybe get missed or just pick up a trace here where you don't get hit by some of those heavier storms. So along and south of Highway 1, pretty good chance for a soaking rain here, but those precipitation totals I think are going to be pretty highly variable as we get through the next 48 hours. And then again, looking at Wednesday through Sunday, still the chance for some isolated to widely scattered showers and storms riding over the top of that ridge. Much less widespread though mid to late week compared to this next 48 hours. So we'll look at the jet stream winds that's driving all of this, the main upper level pattern. You got our big ridge across the western United States kind of parked right here. This is the storm system bringing the severe weather risk over the next 24 to 48 hours. We'll put this into motion. We'll watch it through the next 48 hours, watching this storm system just kind of scooting along the U.S.-Canadian border until we get to Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. This one gets out of here. We see another little system north of the prairie. See it right here, kind of Wednesday into Thursday. This one dives from northern Alberta, northern Saskatchewan into kind of central Manitoba Wednesday through Thursday. Another subtle little disturbance there on the backside as well. And this is where we get into, the pattern's not quiet, but it's not nearly as organized. Big difference between this storm system right here, Monday, Tuesday, compared to this look late week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Again, we still have the jet stream support. We still got little disturbances, but they're not focusing that big corridor of severe storms and, heavy soaking rains. It's going to be much more a storm here, a storm there, most folks getting missed in between. You look at the pattern, days 0 through 5 here on the left. We're breaking down the next 10 days. And then days 6 through 10 here on the right. Not much change in the overall picture, and still a pretty good look here across the prairie. The biggest reason being, here's our ridge, still well south across the United States. So even though, here's the pattern over the next 5 days, we get that system here to bring in a soaking dose of rain across southern portions of the prairie. Now, even though it looks drier late week into the weekend, maybe even into early next week, still a pretty good trajectory here, with the ridge well south across the southern U.S. So we've still got northwest flow across the prairie. The problem is, with respect to generating showers and thunderstorms, got a little bit more in the way of split flow here. It's not quite so tightly packed when we look at the lines here, your height lines. So again, the ridge not going to suddenly, expand up into Canada is my bigger point. I think we're not going to suddenly see a huge expansion in the wind, in the ridge, bringing widespread heat, widespread drought. We're just going to trend a little bit more mild, and we're going to cut back the coverage of the showers and storms late week into the weekend. Certainly not shutting things down completely across the region by any stretch of the imagination. Now we'll look at the next 5 days, precipitation anomaly. Then days 5 through 10 over here on the right, showing you the same thing. Again, organized corridor of showers and storms with that Monday, Tuesday storm system. And then as we head into the late week, into the weekend, trending a bit drier here, especially across portions of, the Alberta-British Columbia border. Again, a little bit of split flow here as the jet stream kind of comes together, and still see northwest flow, but I think we'll cut back the coverage of the storms here as we head through days 5 through 10. Temperature is going to be a bit mild. Again, I don't think we're going to suddenly, launch ourselves into a prolonged period of excessive heat, but temperatures through the next 10 days going to average out a few degrees more mild compared to average. Again, not looking at any real big shots of cool air, but not looking at any prolonged periods of, 32 to 36 degrees C high temperatures. We'll look at then finally the precipitation forecast, just verbatim from the European operational model run. Monday, Tuesday, we've covered, in depth the storm system running along the U.S.-Canadian border here over the next 48 hours. And we kind of talked about as we get into late week, into the weekend, these disorganized systems coming from northwest to southeast across the region. Little frontal boundaries extending south from there, bringing the chance for some isolated to widely scattered showers and storms. I'm rocking back and forth here, kind of your Friday, Saturday time frame. Looks like the next best chance for scattered showers and storms. Monday, Tuesday, probably dry. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, bringing some scattered storms back into the forecast. Calgary, again, those highs jumping around between the mid to upper 20s after a cooler 19-degree high for the day today. Edmonton, right around 25 degrees through the end of the week. Saskatoon, upper 20s for your highs. Regina, near 30 degrees today, upper 20s to near 30 for the rest of the week here. Overnight lows right around 14 or 15 degrees C. And then Winnipeg, your highs very close to 25 again, a few degrees warmer than that, kind of mid to upper 20s, we'll call it. Those overnight lows in the upper teens to around 15 degrees at times as we get into the later part of the week.